Hey everybody, welcome back to another Noyz Boyz. And I wanted to just really quickly get this out of the way. No, I did not cause the coronavirus. Despite what I said in the Chinese episode, I didn't do it. I wish I did, though. Anyway, so, hey Tad, this is the huge meme that's all over the fucking place, and I want to just kind of open up with this, because I really want to know, what the fuck is the coronavirus? And why the fuck isn't there a Bud Light virus?
Aw, dude, boomer humor.
Dude, I
call that boomer
got the
in our
easiest
jokes.
fucking joke, the lowest hanging fruit. I made at least 10 different people immediately close the episode right there.
For the past, 2 weeks, I was on my first vacation in, fucking 6 years. I went over to visit Aleks in Boise, Idaho. I went to fucking the busiest, I don't know, maybe New York's probably got a busier one. I went to O'Hare, which is a very fucking busy airport in Chicago, right before the coronavirus stuff happened. And then on my way back, it was just, now I don't know if this is because I was just looking for it, but I'm just going to say, Alex, there was a suspicious amount of Chinese people in Chicago. So what the fuck is the coronavirus? So I'm going to ruin the meme. It's basically fucking nothing. It has a fucking 2% mortality rate, and that's only if you're already koofing because you're 60. You're aged out of the prime population in China because you're 42 now, and so you're just immediately sent to the death camps because you're no longer physically fit enough to work in their what is industry in China, Alex? I think it's just all factory jobs. Factories,
sweatshops, and business positions. And then making shitty mobile games, apparently.
So the coronavirus, it's a virus just like SARS and all that shit that came from animals. I saw this hot meme about the fucking bat soup, but technically I don't think that's the cause of it. What it was is in these open air markets, you can just get freshly slaughtered meat, which is normally pretty cool, but you gotta have hygiene and shit, which I don't think many people give a shit about that over there in these more rural provinces like the Wuhan district. But it came from those kind of animals, and it basically just gives you pneumonia. It's a viral infection, so you can't kill it with antibiotics, and the flu stuff that we give you doesn't do anything to it. So if you get it and you're sick, well, I sure hope you're not old, because then you are probably going to die. But it has infected, 20,000 people across the entire world, which is 0.0000001%. More people die of the flu every day. Maybe not every day. You know what I mean, though. It's funny to meme about it, but some people just I will agree with this, Alex. There was an article on The Verge. It's hey guys, maybe this isn't a good opportunity to just be out and out racist. And I'm gonna say I agree with The Verge on this one. It's funny, kind of. It's funny in the sense that China is the big bad evil guy, but it's also not super cool to just be super gung ho about hating the Chinese for eating bat soup.
Tad,
I'm going to say it's pretty fucked up.
When is it? See, you seem to be pretty conflicted there, Tad. You see,
because it's such an easy, as you said, Alex. This is the lowest hanging fruit.
I'm just shitting on China. Yeah, it's easy because China just does objectively awful things. So you have
we
a natural
get to Alex.
Of,
we get to finally have our bad guy back. For the boomers, for our parents, it was or maybe not our parents, but the grandparents. They had the Nazis, but now we get to have the Chinese. Isn't it great to have a bad guy?
It was the Germans, it was the Russians, and now it's the Chinese.
Oh, don't forget the Middle East. The Middle East was the bad guy for our parents for they got away with that shit for 25 years before people kind of stopped caring, and then they just shifted it to China.
China. So I like this little meme. I don't know if it's actually true whatsoever. But considering the rest of the things that they've done recently, I don't rule it out. That it's a conspiracy theory that the coronavirus was manufactured to try to kill off all the Uyghurs, but it failed and now it's spread to regular people.
You stop saying Uyghurs.
That's what they're called!
What is a Uyghur again?
They're basically a bunch of Muslims from Turkey.
Oh, okay. But they're just in China.
Because remember, like the Middle East is right there by China. Middle East is part of the Asian continent. People forget that part.
Just like Russia.
Yeah, Russia's part of it too. Fucking. So like all the Muslim Turks and shit go all the way up into China. Like, hey guys, can we like come over here and live here? And China's like, running up a chainsaw ready to harvest all of their organs and kill them. It's funny. Those people are being murdered.
Speaking of killing people, though, Alex. So, me and Alex hung out for like 2 weeks up in Boise, Idaho. Beautiful Boise, Idaho. It's just Illinois, but bumpier.
Hey, it's cleaner. You can actually breathe out here, man.
That is true. I dragged him to go and see Joker finally. The funny Jokey Man movie.
The movie
also
that
1917.
That made nobody rise up, despite everyone saying that it was going to make people rise up, because people are not influenced that heavily by media. Despite what people on Twitter might think, people can separate fiction from reality. Also, it wasn't even about incels, it was about mental illness instead.
Yeah, it was about what happens if people who have a mental illness are not taken seriously. You know, they're not given the help that they need, and then things just kind of go wackadoo. And then there's Batman. I really like Joker. It had a really good mood. The small brain take on Joker is to just call it like baby Taxi Driver. You know, Taxi Driver is a very it has some similar themes. Taxi Driver is more about, so people that try and say that Joker is the incel movie need to watch Taxi Driver. Because Taxi Driver is what a lot of incel type people feel is like their life. These self-absorbed, narcissistic assholes. That's what Taxi Driver is. They're both character piece movies. Joker and Taxi Driver. They're both pretty similar on the surface. But I think it is a very smooth brain take to just dismiss Joker as being a worse Taxi Driver. I think that's a very unfair take. They're both good in their own right. I like Taxi Driver more, but Joker's my favorite superhero movie I've seen in fucking a decade and a half.
See, what I liked about Joker is it had very little to do with like actual superhero stuff. Like it just felt like a movie, you know?
Yeah, the dumbest shit I ever heard about Joker was that I was leaving the theater, someone asked, well, how does this tie into the DC cinematic universe?
Fucking... What I liked about Joker was, okay. So, I know a little bit about some of the old comics from Joker's backstory. Because he has, like, a different one every fucking time. Where Batman's always consistent, where, like, you know, his parents get shot and then he becomes Batman, you know? There's always that. They might change, like, a detail, but it's always that, like, specific setup, right? With Joker, it's, like, there's two off the top of my head that I remember. There's the one where he was dumped into the chemical vat, where he fought Batman when he was Red Hood, when he was trying to steal shit from a chemical plant. He gets pushed over in the fight, falls into the chemical vat, and when he comes out, he now has pale skin, red lips, and green hair. And that's also set us up from, I think this is taught in Killing Joke. They talk about his backstory here. I want to say it's Killing Joke, where Joker also, in order to get to that point, he was like a shitty stand-up comedian, which is, I totally thought they were going for it in this movie. It had a lot of things that they took from this backstory, where he was a shitty comedian that nobody liked. He had a really shitty wife that would treat him like shit, which I thought was going to be that girl, but it wasn't.
Yeah, I loved how they handled that girl. The first time I saw the movie, I was like, this is odd that he just like has a girlfriend. This doesn't make sense how it's playing out. And then, you know, the big reveal is that, no, it does not make sense because he fucking made it up. He was living his fucking fantasy in his mind.
Fucking, what I like this...
Then takes out his frustrations when she doesn't reciprocate his fantasy, you know, when he goes there at the end.
Yeah. Fucking, yeah. So, I know this whole story, and I thought that's what we were going for, but they did their own thing. There's also, I like his voice, where Arthur, like, just has a really, like, nerdy-sounding voice, so he sounds really meek, you know?
Sounds like he's on the fucking edge all the time.
Well, it sounds like he's trying to just hang in there and be nice, but people just don't let him.
Yeah.
You do genuinely, like, kind of feel bad for him, because a lot of things are just not his fault, you know? It's a really a damn shame. But then, you know, he snaps, and And it's kind of hard to justify anything he does. It's shot really well too. Like that scene where he's getting beat up in the subway, and then like the lights are flickering, and then just immediately like shifts to the gunshot. It's a very well made movie, and I could see why it did so well. And I really don't understand why people were so like up in arms, worried that people were gonna like kill each other over this movie. Well, I mean, I know that people wanted it to happen so they could have news articles because people are evil and are willing to literally let people kill each other just so that they can get some more views on the internet. Let's be honest. Let's get that out of the way. People are vile. People will do anything, and I mean anything, Tad, for views. I mean, Twitter should have proven this already, but people will go to great lengths to get a little attention for one fucking day. But anyway, I think what's really funny is nothing happened with Joker, as we all know, but so someone brought a machete and attacked another person in Frozen 2.
We need to stop Frozen 2.
This was in the UK, actually, not America, surprisingly enough. But I guess there wasn't a gun involved, so maybe it isn't that obvious.
I think I know that they cracked down super fucking hard on guns in the UK. Which also, did you hear that fucking Brexit actually went through? It like went up for like its actual decision and it passed.
Yeah, so I'm curious, what the fuck's up with this? Like, what are they gonna do with all the euros? Like that's the currency. What do they do now if they're not part of the European Union?
I'm not quite sure. I imagine, and this is me having done zero research because I'm a really good podcast host. I imagine they'll still use the euro. I don't know if they'll go back. Leaving the European Union is basically they no longer contribute to the pool that all the countries would take from, because Britain was like putting in a lot and not getting a lot back, and people were getting kind of pissy about that. I imagine they'll probably still use the euro. But they might bring back whatever their fucking money was in the past. Do you remember what British money was called?
Pounds?
Oh yeah, it was. That's right. So they'll probably bring back pounds. But here's my theory, parenthesis, game theory, end parenthesis. They cracked down really hard on guns, and so everyone just has knives, and eventually, now that they've seceded from like the European Union, now they're just gonna go back to swords and daggers. I mean, Britain's going to go back to, like, knights. Just trust me, Alex. This is definitely how it's going to play out. Everyone's going to start carrying, like, you know, those old fancy hats where they had the really big pin they could take out and stab people with? That's what we're going to go back to. Europe's going to be great. I'm sorry, not fucking... I'm so used to saying Europe when I mean Great Britain. I'm just so used to it. Or the United Kingdom. Fuck! God damn it.
Once they go back to being not part of the European Union...
feudal.
Then Scotland can finally fucking secede and go back to being Scotland again. Because I know they wanted to do that for a while.
Oh, yeah, and then they can just go back to being their own country, and then Britain's just kind of like back to being just Britain.
Well, it'll be Britain. It still owns Ireland, so it'll just be Britain and Ireland now. The double kingdom. Because that's how the United Kingdom. It's Britain, Ireland, Scotland. The three kingdoms of the United Kingdom.
Oh, shit. How do you know more about fucking the UK than I do?
I mean, it's in the name, Tad, but I watch a lot of history videos and do history research, remember?
That's true.
But
Speaking
anyway,
of history.
But actually, before we go to history, because we're never going to be able to talk about this again, I want to go back to Joker really quickly. I want to talk about this thing where I really dislike this whole villain bullshit that's going on right now. You know what I'm saying? Where people
the
like...
sympathetic villain?
No, not sympathetic villain. I don't think there's anything wrong with the sympathetic villain. I hate that people like, hey guys, I like this bad guy. Oh, that must mean you agree with them. That's not how that works. That's not how liking a fictional character works, guys. It's a character. You can like a character for like just because they're cool or like they're evil. Like people like Cell not because they want to eat people like Cell does. It's because Cell's a really good bad guy and it's a really cool fucking finale. Cell's cool, you know what I mean? And like, yeah. So we go to the Joker one where it's like if you like Joker, then you're like. You want to fucking rise up and kill people because you were mistreated. Like, no, that's not how that works. You just like the movie. No, you just like the character. Or, like, you just like Joker with, well, when he's handled properly and not done in fucking Death in the Family. When he's handled properly, he's a really fun fucking bad guy. He's great. He's a character. He's fictitious. Because you live your life... what's that?
I was going to say that me and you were... I didn't pick up on it immediately because I'm a really good podcast host. We were talking about this before we started recording, about I saw a Twitter post, or I don't know, maybe it's Tumblr, the fucking all these social media websites that start with T. You got your
Twitter and
fucking
Tumblr are not the
TikToks,
same
whatever.
thing because all those people left Tumblr because they banned all the porn, so now they went to Twitter. Now, Tad, there's nothing worse than a person who's opinionated but also horny at the same time.
Twitter in 2020 is just Tumblr from 2014.
Yes.
But anyway, I saw on one of those fucking websites, someone saying like, it's okay, like reminding people it's okay to like a bad guy. You don't have to, like, doing all these reassuring posts. And I was really confused until I remembered there's a lot of people who are so fucking engrossed in like this kin thing. Where like, I'm kin with this character. And I saw this play out with one of the new Homestuck 2 people, where they were super, super into Vriska. They're like, oh man, I'm kin with Vriska. I identify incredibly hard with this character. To the point where when someone pointed out, hey, remember how Vriska's like a bad person, like she does bad things. That she's not like a good person. You shouldn't idolize her because she's bad. And they kind of lost their fucking shit, made their Twitter private, fucking had a meltdown and shit. And the separation between, like, okay, one of my favorite Homestuck characters is now Alex. I know you gotta hang on. You gotta hang on here.
I'm listening. Don't worry, because it's relevant to me for once.
So one of my favorite Homestuck characters is Gamzee. He's just a shitty fucking clown. He doesn't have any really redeeming factors or anything. He exists just to remind people these characters are fucking really dumb. He's a fucking juggalo clown based on a joke that was funny in 2010. It's been a decade, but he's still around and he still does things in the comic. I like him a lot. He's an objectively terrible person. Like, he's a villain character. He kills people. He's bad. He does bad things. He tried to fucking molest a child in the epilogues, but I still like him because he's a terrible, terrible bad guy. Does that mean I'm a terrible, terrible bad guy for liking him? No, because I don't fucking base my entire personality and self-worth off a fictional character.
There's this weird thing going on right now. Now, I gave it its own term, which is way more powerful than it actually sounds, where I call it the merging of realities, where these crazy people...
Oh, Jesus.
The merging of realities. It's happening! Oh! And you're just like a fucking...
The dimensions are merging, Morty.
Oh no, the dimensions are merging! My sanity, oh no! A squeeze!
Losing my mind!
Fucking... These people grow up... I'm gonna give a little bit of a guess, a little bit of assumptions, which is gonna make an ass out of you and me. Where
very cool.
Based on a few people that I've talked to about this kind of thing, that it appears to me that a lot of these people live their entire lives based off of the consumption or the viewing of this media, thus they don't have anything else to base their life on.
Basically me from 2010 to like 2016 with Homestuck.
Yeah, like they don't say like let me give you an example. Hey, I want to learn art. Oh, I'm an artist, right? I'm a sports player. I'm a soccer player, right? I'm a bowler. I'm a Homestuck fan. That doesn't mean anything. Like, you're not nothing, right? You ain't nothing if you're just saying that you're a fan of something. Because anyone can just view something. Anyone can just read something. Anyone can like watch something. Play a game.
But I'm a member
depends.
of the fandom.
Like, playing a game depends. Where video games have like a skill cap as opposed to just watching TV. So you can be a little more elitist, which is why gamers are kind of assholes a lot of the times. And
video games have the fucking lowest barrier of entry of any kind of media besides just watching.
Well, yeah,
watching something, and then video games is slightly above it.
But see, just playing a game is nothing, but beating a game is different, which is why people who beat a game or do some kind of challenge then get really big egos because they base their entire life off of this media. But at the very least, it's still bad. It's still down there, but it's one step above identifying like solely, and I mean like soul, like your spirit solely, with a character. Because at the very least, you had to do something. With like with identifying, like, let's say the Vriska person you're talking about, where it's like, God, this character's literally me. Oh, it's so good. It doesn't like take much to just look at a character like them and then wish you were like them, and do some weird mental gymnastics to try to force yourself to fit into this mold of, oh, they're just like me. I don't like this weird
projection.
Yeah, projection. There's weird projection people are doing, and it's only being made worse thanks to stuff like VR chat, where you get to represent yourself as these characters. Because having a profile icon is just, you know, showing off you like this character, but then actually, like, acting as them, when you do in this weird RP shit, which you already have experience with, it's like, I don't like this because it really fosters a negative mindset that will have this, is it dissonance is the word I'm looking for? This disconnect.
Disassociation.
This disassociate and disconnect with reality, where now you're going to... I'm talking real smart with this fucking shit, Ted. You can see I actually care about this topic.
Your brain is growing extra wrinkles.
Oh, it's getting so
You're
large.
gaining your mind!
Oh, I'm gaining my mind. I'm getting some insight right now, bros. My frenzy resist is lowering. Fucking... I don't like that it fosters this weird thing, and now all these people can do is only act in a specific way, and then they don't know how to cope or handle any other way of, like, interaction. They only project and act through these characters, like wearing a mask or dressing up for Halloween, but it's Halloween every fucking day.
Mm-hmm.
And this now has the negative byproduct, the downside, the symptoms, the side effects, that's the word. The negative side effects of now people on social media here are really vocal about the things that they like and are attached to, and then because they base their entire life on that, say if someone's like, okay, let's say you really, really like Steven Universe. This is a really easy example because this happens a lot. Say you're Mr. or Mrs. Steven Universe E. You nothing better than jerking off the Steven Universe characters and projecting yourself onto Sadie, because let's be honest, we know that's what you do. We know that's what you're doing. Gotta hate Sadie. Oh, you like Lapis because Lapis is sad and got raped, and now she's just literally like me. Now I'm justified being a bitch to everybody because I like this one fictional character who's also a bitch to everybody. I've been a little laughy. And so now, when you say, you know, take a little sip of your Corona, not virus, just, I gotta say, I don't really like Steven Universe. It's kind of dumb. And they just get fucking crush countered. They get, real back, like a Phoenix Wright character going, with the snap sound effect, grabbing, like, choking themselves and screaming. You're saying,
the Yu-Gi-Oh! Life counter appears.
They're like, what? What did you say about my entire life and personality, you piece of shit? How dare you? And this is why you should have more than one fucking hobby. I actually talked about this a little bit with the video games thing, where I said you should do other things than video games. You do other things than just watch, like, 3 or 4 cartoons. You should try to be a complete human being, rather than just take the easiest way out and saying, oh man, I like jerking it to this one specific thing. I'm a jerky. Woo, look at me. I'm gonna hang out with this community of just other people who like to get around in a circle and jerk off about certain things. This is the only way I know how to act. Now, Tad, I'm targeting a specific community. You know which one it is. You know who it is? It's the furry community, Tad. Hey guys, we're totally not just crazy.
The Illuminati's gonna get us.
Like, oh man, hey guys, I'm a fucking wolf. I like jerking off to big old dog wieners. Look at me, I'm so unique. Ooh, coomies. Coomies. Woo, this is my entire personality now. I just sit around as a fucking cum slut and RP with people on the internet. Look at me, everybody. Woo, this is my whole life. I only consume furry media. Woo. I'm gonna go bitch on Twitter about persecution because people don't accept the fact that I'm doing this really weird and perverted private act, but in public. Ooh! I'm sorry, I got on a tangent there.
Do you know how based you're going right now?
I got
slow it down.
I got a little out of tangent there because that was starting to get me a little riled up there. Sorry. Anyway, it's fiction. Get the fuck over yourselves, and for the love of God, for not even just furries, there's any other goddamn pervert out there, shut up. Like, look, I joke about what I like because it's funny. There's making a meme or getting added with like something, right? And then there's, he horny. As Thanos said, sometimes people are often horny. Sometimes it's just a little much. Could you please just stop making it your entire life? Nobody cares of how you get off. That sums up the fictional thing too. Nobody cares how you get off. We all get off in some weird way. We like to keep it private for the most part. Anyway, next topic, because I got way off base. Fuck. Okay, so here's another thing that we fucking saw when Tad was over here. That was the whole fucking startup, was that Tad was over here for like 2 fucking weeks and we did not record an episode because we were fucking lazy. So
yeah, that's true. We did spend literally 2 days I did not move from the couch. We just sat there and watched Trailer Park Boys.
Which is really funny. I'd never seen that show. It's been on since like 2004. That show is fucking
Why'd
hilarious.
you steal all these fucking bananas?
Why'd you steal all these fucking bananas? Hey, Smokes, come on, and I'm over.
My favorite joke, and this is really, really hard. This is a really hard thing to nail down. My favorite joke for Trailer Park Boys was, "Stop firing, I'm fucking hurt!"
Sherry, when you were gone, Sherry made fun of me where, you know that episode where Ricky gets a job with the carts?
Yeah.
She immediately, when he's like, look at this fucking, who the fuck puts a cart out here? And like, oh gee, thanks asshole. Sherry said, you know, Alex, I can totally see you doing that. I said, Sherry, I literally do that every day. Just, oh wow, here's a real piece of shit leaving a fucking cart over here in the goddamn grass. Cool, thanks asshole. It's literally, Ricky
really
is me in that episode. Fucking
for those,
Bubbles is my favorite character, by the way. Just, oh, this is a primo, this is a mint fucking cart right here. Fucking mint.
It's fucking decent. The guy who plays Bubbles cannot see through those fucking glasses. I think he found him at like a thrift store, and it just worked. For the 16 people still listening, Sit Boys, I tried to emulate a lot of that Canadian Kino, where it's like you got $50 and you got a location. Go ahead and make a movie or whatever. Trailer Park Boys is great. There's like fucking 13 seasons in an animated series, but a lot of it is like Netflix only. So it's my favorite character is Ray, Ricky's dad. You haven't seen a lot of what Ray does, but he is my favorite character. He like gets more roles in like the mid to later season.
Fucking
Trailer Park Boys, fucking based.
Tad tried fucking showing me goddamn what was it? Fucking
Twin Peaks.
Yeah, he tried to show me Twin Peaks, but I was playing like Arknights the whole fucking way through. But I was still watching it. I was still watching it though, and I was paying attention. It is not half bad.
I just want to say to the viewers, it's like, hey Alex, what's up? Yeah, we're gonna hang out for 2 weeks. You were switching between 3, count them, 3 gotcha games. Yeah, you got the gotcha brain. I'm gonna rule.
I'm gonna roll. Oh, it's so shiny. It's Ray. Oh, it's a waifu. Listen, I don't actually have a lot to defend myself in the situation. You are completely right. I'm not gonna sit here and say it wasn't stupid. But one of them was new, and there was the stupid Fate event going on that only had 6 days. Now, much like that episode of Always Sunny where he's like on the floor crying like, this does not represent me. I'm gonna say that this was just a bad time because there were multiple events going on. I normally do not play them that much. I usually just get on, just do my 3 runs of doors, just, come on, doors. And then I'm done, and I just do whatever else for the rest of the day. But it was that stupid, it was the stupid Setsuban event with the stupid pagoda. That event sucks. I'm 100% like, I don't play it that often. I do not literally play it all day. However, Arknights is new, and I am actually really liking it. And I gotta say, the American ads are really cringy. If the Arknights team ever somehow hears this sentence, for the love of God, get rid of your fucking ads. They are awful. Your live-action streamer bait bullshit looks like shit and only distracts from what the actual product is. And I'm actually defending it because this game is actually not half bad. This is some big brain shit in some of these later fucking missions.
Alex, doesn't that game also have a system where it just records where you place your units, and you can literally set the game and it autoplays more than RuneScape botting?
For the farming shit, yeah, but like just about everything has weird farming shit in these mobile games, Tad. Tad, this is your first rodeo. Wait till he hears about the chores in Fortnite. Wait till he hears about Warframe, guys.
I spent $140 on Mario Kart, and then I disputed it and got the money back, and now my Mario Kart Tour app won't even start, so I guess I'm just done with that game. I think they might have banned me, Alex. The game just straight up will not start anymore. I either broke it, and I fucking clean installed that shit. It still don't work. So I think Nintendo finally caught on to me literally stealing from them.
Well,
but that's fine, because the Switch has a different account. I can play Smash on my friend's account. I don't give a fuck if you ban me, Nintendo. Do it, bitch. I ain't gonna play fucking ARMS.
What a shame, it's a good game. So another thing we saw was we saw fucking 1917.
The Dark Souls of movies,
yeah.
1917.
The movie that pretends it's one whole shot, even though you can tell there's a couple cuts here and there. But it's a pretty good movie. I liked it.
Yeah, when I saw it, Alex laughed at me. He called me dumb, and he made fun of me, and he pointed and laughed and did the Take the L Fortnite dance when I told him that it was the Dark Souls of movies.
Oh, I did. I just said, okay, buddy.
I remember things a little bit differently, Alex, okay? Now, I may have been a little messed up during this trip because 24 hours after I arrived, I puked all over your house.
Oh, okay, hold on. Tangent time. We're going to stop talking about 1917 because I have to go in gross detail about this vomit situation. All right. Scene. Here we are. Sherry gives Tad some shit to eat, which I don't think I can actually say what it was. So my aunt gives Tad some fucking shit. Ted's like, hey, I'm gonna eat the whole fucking thing, even though I'm not specifically not supposed to. I forgot.
Listen, Alex, in my defense. No, you listen here, Mr. Man. So she gave me something, and she told me to cut it into fourths, and I didn't, because I was stupid. And so I ate the whole thing, and then we sat down to watch fucking
Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Exactly.
And we ate a pizza.
Kino film.
So we ate a pizza, and he ate this stuff that should not have mixed together. So nothing's going wrong. We're just talking about like the scenes of how like shit was shot, because we're
talking about Egyptian diarrhea.
Yeah, about how like, the actors got really bad fucking shits because the food there was awful, and how in that one scene where he gets pushed over, the guy literally shits himself right there. We're just doing all this thing, and then near the end of the movie, around the time where Indiana Jones is about to fire the rocket launcher at the Ark, near the end. I looked at Ted and was like, hey, Ted. He just opens his mouth and goes, and just starts pouring out of his mouth. Like, he doesn't sell it. He doesn't, like, move forward. He doesn't go back. Doesn't even look at me. He's just dead, like, sitting like a fucking machine, and vomit is just pouring out like a fucking shitty special effect out of a puppet. And he's like, oh.
Literally?
Then after a second, he notices. No. This takes probably only like 10 whole seconds, but when it's happening, it kind of feels like slow motion, right? Right? And I think it's a perception thing. But after like a split second, Ted's like, "Whoa!" And he like notices that he's vomiting, tries to like catch it with his hands, starts standing up, going, "Whoa!" Walks forward to my bathroom, still vomit pouring out of his mouth, vomit pouring onto the floor, all over my wall, then over the door to the bathroom, opens the door, surprisingly doesn't vomit on the floor there. He manages to hold it in for that square fucking bathroom, and then starts into the toilet itself. And he stays there for a little bit. Then he's like, oh, and then he gets out, leaves, goes to the fucking shower, starts showering. You can just keep hearing go, oh, as the shower runs, like it's some fucking depressing movie. And then I'm just sitting here aghast by the sheer copious amounts of vomit there was. Now let me describe the texture of this vomit for people. So, because we just ate a pizza, Tombstone pepperoni pizza to be exact, TM. It was very mushy and orange because it was a partially digested pizza. It looked a lot like lasagna because the cheese was kind of like stretched, but not all dissolved, but kind of melted because it was in the heat of the stomach. And there was bits of pepperoni that I guess just didn't make it to the acid yet. There's just shit everywhere. It was all over the couch. It was all over our rugs. It was all over my wall and all over my door. And I was just thinking, like, at first I was just kind of laughing because I should have taken a picture to show you guys, but it was just a lot. Oh, it was so much. I didn't even know.
It is straight up no selling it. Hey, Ted.
just pops right out of there. Just all of it everywhere. I know I've said this a lot to Tad personally, but I really have to sell this on people. It was a lot of puke. I've gotten sick and I've puked a couple times, when I was younger, but I have not like this. His stomach wanted whatever he ate out of him, and it wanted, like, all of its contents removed, plus extra. That was just... how big is your stomach, man? That was a lot of vomit. But anyway, back to the
No, I have to explain. So when I was... Now, to drive away the remaining two people still listening, when I was in the shower, I was trying to puke. And I was trying to think, okay, I gotta think of something gross. Someone farting. Oh, that's kind of gross. And then, this is what my mind was thinking at the time. What is the most disgusting thing I could think of? I got it. And no shit, I was trying to make myself vomit by imagining playing, like, bot lane AD carry in League of Legends, just playing with a puppy. And that almost got me to throw up.
See, if I ever need to introduce vomiting, because let's just make this episode really gross. I remember when I was a little kid, I watched Fear Factor. And there's this lady who ate these really big, slimy-ass slugs, and it made me so fucking sick that I threw up, right? And I could just think of that scene, because it was detailed. Like, you saw the slime dripping from her mouth and everything, and oh, hang on, I gagged a little bit. Give me a second. It gets me. It gets me every time. It was so gross. Dude.
It just sounds like a fun time with slugs, honestly. You
gotta see it, because they were really... They were really big.
Just fucking gagged again.
It's gross, dude. Like, so that proves it, though. Like, whenever I need to induce vomiting, I just think of the lady eating the slugs. So, they're huge.
But the worst fear factor was those fucking crab scorpions, or like the spiders with like the pinchy hands.
What,
you know,
the
the ones where they had
spider?
to eat those? Yeah, the cave spider. I was like, I'm gonna not do that.
So those guys are the scariest bugs ever, but I will make them unscary. They literally cannot hurt humans. They're just freaky looking.
But they got like arms and shit.
What they do is they're blind. They use their little antennas to spin around and look for small prey to then grab and then munch on. Because you're so big, they think you're just part of like rocks that they climb on. They literally cannot comprehend
I don't like it
to eat you, unless you like wiggle your finger at them or something on their antenna. But like if you're just like on your arm, they'll just think you're like a tree.
The tree moved. My antenna dashed around looking for something that was moving, but the whole thing was moving. I'm losing my pea brain to mind.
Losing my spider by knee. So anyway. So back to the vomit. So I had to clean that up because I wanted to clean that before my aunt got home. So I was laughing at first by the sheer amount, and I even said to my friend, "Damn, Slimer from Ghostbusters would be proud of this." But then I had to clean it all up. So I had to like scrub down the wall, scrub under the door. I had to fucking like rug doctor our fucking living room, and it still smelled for like a couple of days, despite my best efforts. You guys ever smelled how bad puke is? Because you probably puke into something and then throw it out, or puke into the fucking toilet. That shit stays. Even with all the best smell and fucking scent remover, that took days to wash out and everything. And the couch has this little orange stain now, all because of Tad. So thanks.
Well, Alex, you know this is the most disgusting thing that happened that whole trip. I was calling my local library because I had to renew some books. I looked out the window, and in the backyard there's a bunch of horses. Such majestic, beautiful creatures. And I watched one of them walk over to the other one that was shitting, as horses do. Which is, whatever, it's an animal. Then the white one goes up and just starts eating it out of its butthole. So you know what, Alex? You can't call me gross.
Yeah, I have horses that live in my backyard because the neighbor owns a couple horses. They like to visit. Ted didn't, but you can just straight up pet him if you want. There's a benefit to living in this house.
I wasn't gonna fucking pet those things. They did two things. One, literally ate shit. And two, it tried to eat a fucking squirrel.
Horses just eat whatever. So I remember when I was a little kid, I went to a horse like ranch or whatever. I was feeding the horse carrots, and they just started trying to eat my fucking hand. I hate horses. That doesn't hurt.
Bite you? Did it just like start slobbering all over it?
So horses don't have biting teeth. They have like teeth like us, where they're grinding teeth, and they don't chew very hard. So they're just like doing like the grind motion. So it didn't hurt.
They're like the fucking puffer fish. Just
Well, puffer fishes have really scary bites though. They're powerful. They have teeth. Like
a puffer fish could snap a carrot in half.
It was like, what the fuck, get off me, you stupid horse. It's just like, because it's a horse, it's retarded. Whenever people say horses are smart, I always think of that one that was eating my hand, and now I think of the one eating shit, and I think, nah, probably not.
It's like that really old YouTube video of the elephant that's just like eating poop.
Animals are dumb, but, I was gonna say another thing. Oh, yeah. So surprising absolutely nobody, I don't leave the house much outside of going to work and coming home. My life is essentially a 2-mile stretch of road. So Tad, unfortunately, dragged me out of the house while he was here to actually go do stuff. Like, he got me to fucking buy a bunch of fucking Magic the Gathering cards and play at this fucking card store, which is a huge fucking place. It's a gym that they repurposed into a fucking nerd store. Very cool place, by the way. And fucking... Yeah. Tad goddamn picked me to this fucking Mongolian food place, which is right outside my fucking neighborhood that I pass up but never go to. And then Alex tried real noodles for the first time. And they were so fucking good. That place was pretty good. So I'm gonna go back there again later.
Yeah, Mongolian places, for those who don't know, you stack up a bowl with a bunch of bullshit. And the guy kept telling us to go back and take more because neither one of us remembered how you're supposed to, like, eat in a Mongolian place. I went to one once and I ate raw chicken, and then my brother slapped me and called me dumb. And this is when I was like, really young, when I was like 23.
Sorry.
You just like give him his food and he just fucking chops it up with like these big ass fucking like spank. You know, like those things like in old schoolhouses, they have like a fucking piece of wood that they would spank children with. They cut it up with those.
Yeah, it's actually really cool how they cook it because they have this big grill and they just like move it around like it fries like really fast. Mongolian food, really cool.
Yeah,
Kind of
I also
based.
took Alex to like a basic ass restaurant, and once we finished eating, he just sat there and didn't know what to do because it's been 5 years since he went to a fucking restaurant.
I think it was actually more. I think it was more like 6 or 7. But yeah, I've not been to a restaurant in like forever.
He didn't know like what to do. Like, do you like tip? How do I pay? It was pretty funny. Yeah. Anytime I get the chance to flaunt my superiority over Alex to make me feel better, I take it. I take that shit immediately.
It's okay though because I won at the Luchador dice game, 2 to 3.
That's true.
Easy.
That game was fucking sick. You just threw dice in like a ring, and you try to beat the fuck out of each other and then pin one of them. It's a really fun game. I think it's just called the Luchador dice rolling game. I'm not sure.
It's fun.
Just like
though.
the Bloodborne game. Bloodborne game is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. When we went to the card game store, I saw the Bloodborne card game in the expansion pack. I'm like, well, yep, buying that. Losing my mind. Losing my dollars. There's like 5 Cthulhu games. I didn't know that, dude. I knew that there was like Cthulhu board games. That's what the fucking Call of Cthulhu game is based off of. I didn't know.
Well, it's based off the role playing game.
Sorry,
Alex,
that's
Call
it.
of Cthulhu.
But I didn't know just the sheer amount. Like, there's just this one big one called Cthulhu where it has like all the fucking like old ones you can just get. And for whatever reason, Shub Nibba Roth is fucking like $20 extra. The board game is $80. $80 expansion pack. Shubby is $80, and then old Yagi, who comes with Wilbur, which I thought was pretty cool, is also another $23 on top of that. That's like $140 fucking bar. No, that's like a $200 board. Whoops, drop my pencil. There's like a $200 fucking board game right fucking there.
Destroyed my pencil, losing my mind.
Oh no!
There's the Dark Souls board game, which was like $100 and something bucks. Thought about it, but that would have gotten destroyed on the plane ride back, so I didn't get it.
So I actually want to take the opportunity. I know we're like 40 minutes, but I still have one more thing I want to talk about. So I gotta ask, how do you motherfuckers actually afford your goddamn Warframe hobby? Quote from guy who spends a lot of money on Fate. How do you fuckers afford these $120 goddamn units? But like multiple of these boss units. Like, holy shit, the codex for like, because I had a Tyranny codex when I was a kid, and like a couple of them because my friends really like Warhammer. The Tyranny codex, $44 fucking dollars. So I was like, whoo! And like, if I put that back on the fucking shelf, like, how do you fuckers do that shit?
Here's how Games Workshop works. So now they can print a model of a Space Marine, and it costs them like $1 because it's got to be actually pretty precise. And then they put 5 in the box, and then they sell it to you for $28, and they just do that. And so you have to have models
Buy your own
that at
paints
the very
and paint
least
them yourself too. Don't forget.
that I'll give them an excuse on, because if they did actually paint it, I can understand it would like realistically increase the price to what it would be right now if they were selling them reasonably. But the painting is like kind of morphed into its own its own part of the game. But you have to have the base sizes. That's all you really need. You need to know, because you measure from the fucking base of the characters with like an actual ass like fucking like measuring tape and shit. Warhammer, I tried playing it with Chrissy, but it's rolling 6-sided dice and checking a table, which isn't nearly as fun as rolling 6-sided dice and checking the table for the Luchador game was. Because the Luchador game, I get to drop kick people. In the fucking Warhammer one, I get to roll 72 dice and only land 4 hits, which is not very fun. It's a lot of fucking rules, and the only way you can afford it is if that is the only nerd hobby you have. Like, if I took all of my money that I spend on board games and magic shit and all that, and I only played Warhammer, it'd probably even out. I'd probably be spending about the same amount. They charge a shitload for the books because you have to have the most updated books, and it's a hobby. It is your only hobby if you're doing it, unless you just have a lot of money to burn. I'm not a fan of it, though. Not a fan of Warhammer. Not a fan of the war games like that. It's just not my thing. Can't do it.
So what else did we do while you were here? I think that was pretty much it. We sat around, we ate pizza, threw up, watched a bunch of good shit, and hung out at a nerd store. I actually left the house for once in my life.
Finally got to play 2 co-op games I've been waiting literal years to play. Fucking Mario 3D World hooked up the Wii U to play the only game I've ever been interested in. Well, Wonderful 101 and Mario 3D World. Those are I guess Splatoon. The only 3 games on the Wii U.
Hyrule Warriors, sweaty. Those are the 4
It's on the
total
3DS.
games.
Fuck them.
And it's also on the Switch now.
Exactly. So fucking Mario 3D World, that game is... I played it single player for a while, and playing that game single player is, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of depressing. But playing it with multiple players is a lot of fun. All you have to do is you just add a slight level of competitiveness by adding the crown to whoever got the most points, and it changed the whole fucking game.
Also, you can pick each other up and throw each other and kill each other.
Exactly. You could pick each other up and like jump in the air to have someone get something, or I could just throw this piece of shit off the fucking throw them off the fucking map, and I get that fucking Tanuki suit. It's a lot of fun. I don't appreciate the final level being like...
You gotta beat the game with literally every single character, all gold flag finishes, and collect every stamp and every green star, and then you finally get the last world.
I don't appreciate that. Now, I understand having to collect every single collectible. That's reasonable. But beating every single stage with every single character, I understand that like they put a lot of hard work, and they must have really, really loved 3D World's levels, because they are fun. They're good levels. But I think they just assume everyone has like... Because you can't just go through the game with 4 players, because there's a 5th character. So you have to go through every single level at least twice. Multiple times, probably, because sometimes you only play with 2 characters or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot. It's a fucking lot of work, and it's like, I understand you love your levels, but maybe go fuck yourself.
I know.
With that level of, like, go through it again.
Another thing that's really fun about playing with multiple people is the lives are suddenly halved, because, one death is technically 2 lives.
Yep. And this is the first Mario game in a very long time to put the fear of God in me, where we were doing, like, a piranha plant swamp at night stage, and we looked up at the health, like, the lives. We had 1 life, and that was it. So if any of us fucking died, I would have got a game over at a Mario game when I was fucking 25 years old, and I would have had to commit gamer Sudoku.
We had like 80 when that started, by the way, because I had never died while I was playing the game by myself, so I had all these lives, and then we just burned through them doing all the hard levels by killing each other by accident. We're like, hey, I'm gonna hold the Y button to run. Whoops, picked up Tad and threw him into the fucking poison. Oopsie.
Very cool.
I remember you posted a picture of the fucking Discord where it was just like, fear. We only had like 5 lives, and someone said like, oh gee, I wonder which one of you was playing Rosalina. Now listen. Hold up. I am not a cougar. Listen, I do like Rosalina, but I also needed a player because of the whole character thing. I needed to get more flags as Rosalina. There was an actual reason outside of the fact that I just like her. Also, she's broken.
That's a good cover, Alex.
They'll never know how much I played her back in Smash 4 and then made Tad really pissed off and had to stop playing her in Smash Ultimate because you, Alba, and Gutsu, every time I would do literally anything. You know that picture of Plankton where it's like Fire Emblem exists and it's like just like all angry? Where it's like Alba, Tad, and Gutsu and Rosalina hits them with a forward attack, just... It's like you guys can't deal with Luma and you just start bitching and moaning, so I had to play all these other characters that I'm not nearly as good with so you could feel better about yourselves. And then when I pick Rosalina, y'all start losing and start complaining because Alex isn't.
You say that, Alex, but who won when we played Smash Bros the most? Oh, it was me because I won by a single life. That's right, Alex. I won.
I've played other characters like Meta Knight who I've played like 3 times.
Listen, Alex. Shut up. Anyway, the other game we played was fucking Rayman Legends, the best co-op platformer I have played in probably since I played Rayman Origins.
Oh, you mean Rayman Shadow Legends?
Oh, dude, epic.
Dude, I'm so fucking funny. I just shield braid this fucking... I shield braid for free.
Yeah, that's right. They didn't even pay us the, $15,000? Thanks a lot,
It's like
Alex.
4,000. Can we... Hey, yo, Ray, can we get $4,000? I'd like it, please.
Yo, you pay me $4,000, I'll do whatever the fuck you want.
Hey, I'll pretend...
That is an open invitation to everyone listening.
Listen, Raid, I already have 3 gotchas, but I'll pretend to play yours for $4,000.
Use the promo code GOOBOYS. Anyway, Rayman Legends, it's fucking radical. I love that game. It has the best game feel, which game feel is like kind of a hoity-toity fart sniffing term, but like game feel is the way that the game controls everything feels fluid and nice. Like when you're playing Mario 64 and you're running somewhere and you press down and he like struggles a bit and then kind of like loops down from a side, that feels like shit. Don't let Pan and Keck 2012 hear that, but I think that feels like shit, and is it nice? And Rayman, this is the only platform I've ever played when I get to a water level and I'm like, oh, fuck yes. Because you move so smoothly. You can only move in 8 directions, but it does not feel like it. It feels so incredibly smooth and satisfying just to move in that game.
It's funny,
which is why they have
the water levels.
They have so many of those.
Oh, you keep going.
I was gonna say that they have a lot of levels in Rayman Legends which are just move to the right and just like do like a perfect run as something chases you. Just because movement in that game feels so fucking satisfying.
See, what I was going to say is the water levels in Rayman remind me a lot of how Knights plays with how fluid the control is. Spinning around and shit. I should have made you play Knights on the original Saturn. I made you play Virtua Fighter, though. I did make Tad play my fucking Sega Saturn. So, I got another one, lads. But
let me just buy a $600 Sega Saturn to play.
It's like $100.
Nothing.
It was $120, Tad.
With my name's Alex.
Anyway, back to Rayman. So, we already mentioned we really like Rayman. We wanted him to smash and shit. So, with Rayman Legends, I've actually had it on my PS4 forever, but I didn't want to play it because I wanted to wait for Tad to eventually visit so we could play it together. We finally did. I fucking love Legends. I loved Origins. We like 100% of that game. And I love this game too. Fucking the way you move. Yeah, the way you move and all the extra detail they do with this game really pays off. They actually do cheap out a lot of things because a lot of animation is actually tweened, which is a cheap animation tactic, but it works in the context of Rayman because it just looks good enough that you don't really care that much that a lot of it's tweened and shortcutted here and there, you know what I mean? It still looks fluid enough that it makes your brain think, wow, this is so fucking pretty. Plus, the sound design is fucking amazing. It manages to have really unique sounds while still also keeping some goofy things, like the music levels where they take licensed music but then make shitpost versions of it, like Eye of the Tiger with a kazoo. So, it's funny and goofy that fits in the Rayman aesthetic still, the Rayman world. Or of Black Betty with all the fucking gremlin dudes just fucking singing, going yeah dude yeah like doing that. It works. Mm-hmm. It's great. I mentioned the sound design, but I also like its transitions. Like say the water level where it starts off like this little Alohan looking ass fucking Hawaiian ass groovy little tune. Then you go underwater until the pollution becomes dark, and then the actual level tune kicks in, and then you get to the real fucking level.
The stealthy place.
Yeah, it's a really good game. And both Origins and Legends make me think, it's so weird that Ubisoft makes all this weird, stupid shit with all these, realistic people. They got their Splinter Cells, they got their fucking Ghost Recons, they got their For Honor. They have all this shit, and, For Honor has some goofy stuff in it. For the most part, they're all, straightforward and serious. And then there's just fucking Rayman here, this cartoony fucking goofy-ass dude with the little, smiley faces and eyeballs and everything. What the fuck is with it? He seems so weird in comparison to everything else. Because the Rabbids, I know the Rabbids are technically their own thing now, but they were part of Rayman originally, so they still count, right? It's so weird that there's just not content disparity, the context difference with their content. It's so weird, but love it, and I'm really looking forward to them making Rayman 4 because they said they wanted to make it after the new Good and Evil. So I really hope they do it. It's really good because they made 2 really good 2D Raymans, but he hasn't had a 3D platformer in a long time. This would be a decent time to bring it back. You can prove that they're still good because Rayman was always a lot more linear. It wasn't like Banjo-Tooie or how Yooka-Laylee did it where it was way too open. Straightforward works, guys.
Hell yeah. So, anything else you want to mention about we went on top of the foothills. I just played RuneScape on my phone once we got to the top.
Yeah,
no XP waste, Alex.
No XP wasted. Alex says playing Fate and Arknights at the same time. No XP wasted. Gotta get more LMD before the event. I gotta eat a burger to get more sanity.
Yeah, if you imagine us just climbing up an incredibly steep mountain. Well, just fucking. So we're climbing up this icy mountain, it starts off. There's just rocks everywhere. We're climbing up it, and then it just starts sleeting, and it starts snowing, and the wind's whipping, and we're dodging goats and snowballs and shit, all while just mining on RuneScape. But then tick, 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 tick. Aw, dude, I love this immersive gameplay. RuneScape's terrible. I love it.
Shit's on me for fucking grinding in Arknights. Meanwhile, is literally over there mining.
Hell yeah. All right, that'll do it for this episode. Thanks for listening. This one was a lot of fun. I'm glad we got to do a Noyz Boyz. We probably should have done it when I was actually over there, but fuck it. I want to take a break. Forget about it. Speaking of forgetting about it, find the podcast on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, and Spotify, which I'm going to say this right now. Don't let Spotify know I said this. That thing is baffling to use if you do not understand what it is and you don't look at anything outside of it. I tried to listen to the Dido music, just that album, on Spotify on my phone, and I could not figure it out. I felt like an old man I felt like Grimm when they handle the controller's got a million buttons.
How do I jump? Why do I even need these many buttons?
Exactly. So Spotify is incredibly confusing to use unless you pay for premium, which you should, because I think I get a cut of that. I'm not really sure about how Spotify works, but if I do get money out of it, you should pay for Spotify. There's a Discord that we have in the description. There's a Patreon in the description. All that good stuff. So thanks again for listening. And hey, Alex, I got one last thing to say.
Well, actually, I wanted to give a fan a shout out really fast, if that's okay, before you do that one last thing.
Yeah, the last thing I was going to do was just going to be me puking again, so you can do your thing.
I was going to say, there was a guy who recently was probably messaging me, Gurkak, I think is how you say his name. He's a little artist in Bards and Artisans. He did this really nice picture of me with one of my favorite girls from each of the 3 gachas that I play, and I thought it was really fucking adorable. And
Thank you, Gurkak.
Yeah, I wanted to give him a shout out for doing that. That was really nice to just do out of nowhere. Now, maybe I'm looking at art too much, because as you guys know, I'm learning art and it's really fucking hard. So now I understand where like a normal a normie would just say, wow, you should be happy to do art and shit, right? But now that I know art, having someone just offer to do a relatively difficult picture for free just because they like you is actually really touching, and I do really appreciate it, Gur. So thank you.
All right. And once again, thanks for listening, guys. And, man, I was going to do the puke joke, but the moment has passed. So, thanks for listening, and haha, got you, bitch.
Aw, dude, paste.